What is up, Retro Maniacs? My name is Mike, his name is Joe, and his name is EP, and we're here to talk about cards. This week, we have another audience participation video for you here. Leave us your answers in the comments if you would. This week, we're going to do a little agree or disagree. I have a list of 10 statements here, and you guys, including the viewers, are going to tell me whether you agree with them or disagree with them. Could do some of them, do all of them. I don't care, but join the fun. So let's get it started. Yes. Statement number 1. 99% of cards will not retain the values that they reached in 2021. Agree or disagree?
Agreed. Right, waiting for you. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed, because there's so much of it. I mean, I think our answers are going to be pretty similar. There's just so much. It's overprinted. We talked about it on the podcast. There's too many parallels. There's too many options. So,
well, the questions about cards that are already in existence, the values they reached in 2021, will they ever hit those? Like a Tom Brady?
No, they won't. I mean, we're in a moment. That was a moment in time that just so many things went right as the world was going wrong. I don't think there's any possible way that those cards are ever going to get to that height again, unless there's another similar world-altering event that takes place.
It was such a perfect storm. Like, it's like probably like a once-in-a-lifetime type thing. So we'll probably never see it. To say never is probably a bit of a stretch. Like 200 years from now, when maybe cards don't exist, sure, or something like that. But yeah,
NFTs EP at that point.
Right.
Yes, right. True. Yes. All right. Statement number 2. We are in another junk wax era. Let me explain. I'm not saying that current cards are like the early 90s and they have nothing of value in them. But I'm saying when you take a big snapshot of the card industry, this era, the values of cards are going to be way lower for most cards than they were before it and after
it. I agree. Do you want me to say my bit now?
Sure.
Okay. I was don't know if you want to do agree and disagree or whatever, and then keep going. Okay, so I agree, but I also think that the hobby is better able. Like, I don't think it's going to be as bad, and maybe not as quite as bad of a crash, and with everybody like exiting as before. I think people are going to stick around, even if the cards aren't going to have the value, because I just don't think it's going to be as apocalyptic maybe as kind of that was back in the 90s. But I agree that we're there. The overproduction.
Okay. Joe?
I agree. And just take what I started to answer in the first question, and you could just put it here with the overproduction, the oversaturation of base cards, the oversaturation of parallels. I called it junk RPAs, I think, like a year ago. Maybe on this show, on the Wednesday show, I called it a junk RPA era. I really think that, to even put it into more of a microcosm, I think RPAs are going to be absolutely worthless because of the overproduction.
Okay. Statement number 3. Insert cards will eventually make a comeback in the hobby.
Agree. And I think it's going to be the 90s thing again, where, 90s inserts they were fine, whatever. But then there was just this explosion of people's interest. I think the nostalgia in 20 years, it's going to take a while, but the nostalgia that we got for those 90s inserts, I think some of the folks may get the nostalgia for the inserts that are coming out today. I don't think in the moment they're ever going to be they're not going to be loved, but I think the nostalgia part of it down the road, they will be.
I agree. What he said.
Okay. My feelings are, I think that maybe card companies will go back to them at some point. So I think they will come back. Some of the innovation, like you can have a lot of innovation with insert cards that you don't have with parallel cards, right?
Yeah. So, the new finance that you just announced, like the inserts are what really got me excited. They have a couple that are really cool looking.
Some of the was it Bowman that you opened EP, like the glass
spotlight, the green grass refractors, and the
those look really cool. I think you're right, Mike. There's options for them to, because you can do things outside the box with inserts that you can't do with base cards and parallels.
Okay. Next statement. Mickey Mantle will become less iconic in the hobby as time goes on. This is a popular discussion going around the hobby with like baby boomer generation dying off and whatnot. Will Mickey Mantle's place at the top of the baseball card hobby diminish over time?
I believe that Mickey Mantle is. I disagree. I believe that Mickey Mantle is the one, maybe the only one, iconic player who's not going to, just because of the story behind that, the 1952 card, his legend as a Yankees guy and all that sort of. I feel like he, and I feel like that he's just going to hold. I disagree. I think he will continue.
Yeah, I disagree as well. Like at the end of the day, people are always going to remember who the legend that is Mickey Mantle. Like my generation, your generations, how many generations before us didn't actually see him play?
Yeah.
Like, and we, at this point in 2023, we still hold it as the pinnacle of baseball cards. Same thing with, for a different reason, the Honus Wagner card, right? Like people, that's up there too. That's one of the top ones. Who's watched Honus Wagner play? Those cards kind of transcend that. I think those players, and Mantle specifically, transcends that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. Like the legends are the legends, and they will always be legends and will always be remembered. So, okay, here's a fun one. Fanatics will make the hobby better. Joe?
I hope so. I
agree or disagree.
I agree, I guess. You could argue it can't get much worse. People love Panini, right? So I guess whatever. But I think right now it's pretty bad. I think the overproduction and the overpricing of cards is horrendous. If Fanatics can reel that in and do some of the things that they've talked about doing, we don't. If they stay with that, if they do some of those things, then yeah, I think they will make it better.
I think it really depends on how you define better. But
way you want.
Just based on what they've done so far, I have to agree. I'm looking forward to having all of the licenses under one house, under the Topps house. I'm looking forward to what they're doing with them as far as breaking and that kind of stuff, regulating some of that kind of stuff, and what they've done with some interesting promotional stuff. So I think already, in my opinion, some of the things they've already done have kind of improved stuff already. So I have to believe that even though it's all about money at the end, I have to believe that they are going to be, they're going to make it better.
We know Mike's answer, so move on.
I'm shocked by that. But the viewers, if you don't answer any other in the comments, let me know what you think about that. Will Fanatics make the hobby better? Okay, this one's fun. Sports card investor Jeff Wilson will not be in the hobby 5 years from now. EP, agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Okay.
I think he's in for the long haul. Maybe I know he's already changing kind of his platform and how he does things away from the sports card investor, like specifically investing type stuff. So I think he's going to continue to change and be in it. I think does have a passion for it, even though, there are a lot of people that have said about how he's, some of the stuff has been misguided or whatever, but I think he does have a passion for it. So.
Wow, passion for it.
I don't think he has some passion for cards.
Joe, agree or disagree?
I agree that he will. Wait, what am I agreeing to? He will be in the hobby in 5 years. Okay. Whatever that means.
Disagree with the statement that he will not.
I think his channel does well enough, like to the point where, and I completely disagree with our buddy Sports Card Dad on this. Like he was like implying that maybe Jeff Wilson should be like a promoter for Fanatics or do some PR. I don't know what that was all about, but but he does have this following with new collectors. You type in sports cards on YouTube, his videos come up. He hits the algorithm. He has, tens of or hundreds of thousands of views depending on the video. So like, and people like to live vicariously through rich people too. And I think he has that portion of the like that type of appeal. It's like why people watch Lifestyles of Rich and Famous for as long as they did. I really do think people like to see him making these $100,000 deals on his channel. I think his views will be just too good and he'll make money from it. So he's not going anywhere, but he doesn't have passion. Get out of here with your passion.
Also remember that a couple weeks ago, we defined and we said, when you say the word influencer, it is Jeff Wilson and Mike Lutz.
Right, that's true. We did.
So I mean, that's the definition, like the textbook definition.
And Jeff Wilson, yeah. Okay, that was a fun one. Next statement: most autographs, particularly base autographs, will not hold the same value in the future. Agreed.
They will not hold the same value.
Yeah, you kind of answered this earlier.
Yeah, there's just it's just there's such a overproduction of these cards that, and they're I hate sticker autos, right? So, but they're just opening up the floodgates with sticker autos, and they're putting multiple autos. Remember back when we would open a box and we got an auto, we'd lose our mind. Didn't matter who the player was. Now you expect 4 or 5 autos in a box.
EP?
Also agree. I was going to make the same reference. Like what used to be a bigger deal, and I think it's over time this got, they've been less and less and less important to the point now where you just expect it. You expect them to be bad depending on who you're buying them from, like as certain companies. So I mean, yeah, I just agree 100%.
Like, think of how many autographs Mike Trout is going to have by the time he's finished playing his career on cards that you can get. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Plus, even
when he's done finishing, he'll keep signing
forever.
He'll be in Panini products forever.
It's the age-old question: would you be are you happier opening a box and not getting an autograph, or are you happier getting a player that's not worth anything, that's not any good? Because it's really what most of them are filled up with, those kind of players now. So like getting that guy is like getting nobody out of a box when we opened them, when you couldn't get them all.
I love breakers who rip and have no idea who Bobby Hebert is, and they pull his auto. And they're like, oh, Bobby Herbert from the Saints. Congratulations, Saints, because they're putting all those type of players in boxes nowadays. It's so weird.
Okay, here's a completely random statement. EP, I believe this is yours. The National will be held in Las Vegas.
Like ever? Agree.
Like in the near future, like say 5 years.
Agree.
Okay.
There have been a lot of rumors that a lot of people wanted to go there, and they wanted to go with West Coast ish, and so like it more to the west. And I think Las Vegas is the one place where a lot of people are really want to go. So
okay.
I was gonna disagree because I'm like, oh, it's the whole gambling thing. Do they want to be? Well, they were just in Atlantic City. I mean, so yeah, I mean that would be the perfect storm of things to happen. Breaking's gambling, buying boxes of cards is practically gambling at this point, right? So, I mean, why not? And if Michael Rubin has anything to do with it, sure, he would love the spectacle of that. Like that would be at that point, it would be a spectacle. It would be an event. And we'd go to that one for sure,
Mint
right?
Collective's there too, right? Isn't that where that's held?
I think it is. Yeah.
Like Vegas is big. If you want to do the National big, I feel like in this country, that is the one place you could do the National big. So I just threw that out there randomly.
Our very first podcast, we talked about Michael Rubin wanting to make card shows like Comic-Con. I mean, what bigger venue could you think of
for your gambling
destination?
Enterprise.
Right, exactly. I mean, absolutely.
All right, Joe. Are cards investments? Cards are investments. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, so I agree that they are investments. I don't think people should look at them that way, but I agree that they are. I think people are putting money into them, hoping, especially the vintage stuff, hoping that it goes up, maybe like a T-bill, government bond, it goes up a little bit over time. But yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree that they can be. So I have to agree. If you're talking about like a 52 Mantle or something like that, it's going to appreciate in value. I think what people are doing with a lot of the like the newer RPAs and that sort of stuff. Like that's just flipping, and that is dangerous. That's not investing. I mean, I guess there are a lot of dangerous ways to invest in stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money changing hands, and you're hoping to make money off of it. So yeah, it has to be. I agree.
Okay. And the final statement, agree or disagree, EP? Panini America will disappear after they lose their major licenses.
Disagree.
Okay.
I believe they're going to they'll find a way to keep going. They will be a much smaller scale company than they are now, though.
Okay. Joe?
You're saying they're going away, so I have to agree that they're going away, right? Is that the line?
Agree or disagree?
Okay, I agree, just to be contrarian. If Fanatics has all the licenses, they have all the NIL deal, like Panini would have to really make some money off of unlicensed stuff. I don't know how they do with the baseball, but they wouldn't even have the players because they won't have the Players Association. They're going to have all they can have are retired players. And if they're really, really good retired players, guess what's going to happen? Fanatics is going to scarf them up, right? They're going to sign exclusive deals with Fanatics and things. So I think when they lose their licenses, they'll try for a couple of years and then fade away. That's my bold statement, I guess, for this episode.
Very interesting. And, one thing to consider is they lose the license to the baseball. So like they have like kind of a trial run to see what they can do without having that before they lose the other licenses. So
right.
It'd be interesting to see. I don't know, but hey, everybody, thanks for watching the video. Let us know if you disagree, any of them, all of them, whatever you want to do, let us know. We have a lot of fun with the interaction with people watching the videos. So let us know in the comments. And other than that, we'll be back next week. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah, boys.